my advice would also be, even though it's a very solitary job, you're sitting in your office most of the time behind your computer. Make sure you have your social contacts with other translators, and make sure you have a couple of editors that you really like to work with and really trust, and work with them often. Because you get to know each other and you get to correct each other. And it's really uncomfortable to have to correct someone you don't know. And then get back, well, why did you do that?
Yeah,
or people get very defensive.
Right. Well, I was going to say one other thing. Don't be defensive about somebody correcting your translation. I mean, don't feel personally attacked. That happens sometimes. And it's a shame, really, because it should be viewed as input, feedback. We try to pair, especially in translation, we try to pair people to work as a team. That means one translator and one proofreader editor, so we can actually guarantee the quality to our clients. Because when the translator first translates sometimes, there are things that could be said in other ways. There may be a typo. There may be issues. So that's why we have a second person. Sometimes it's good to even have a third person in certain instances. So it's always good to work in a team. And feedback is so important because there's always different ways of saying things. You write a letter, I write a letter. They might be about the same thing, but the style might be completely different. So there's things we can teach each other, I think, and learn from each other.
There are also wonderful organizations like the Colorado Translators Association and the American Translators Association, and you get very valuable information because not every translation agency is ethical. And, but in the long run, the bad ones shoot themselves in the foot because one of the major assets for a translation company is their translators list. And if the good translators start leaving because either they don't pay well or they don't get treated well, you end up with a diminished list.
Right.
And you shoot yourself in the foot.
That's true. And your quality goes down.
Oh, absolutely.
As a result, yeah. And it's also good to network with other translators because of the rates. Because she has mentioned the rates, and the conditions. So that's also a very important part, because at the beginning you may not know what's the going rate per word, per hour, that you can accept from somebody who asks you for a translation or an interpretation. So it's very important that you know what the standard is.